Are you confident? Do you have consistency? How much conviction do you have? I'm Daniel Gomez, the Confidence Architect, a business strategist, keynote speaker, executive coach, and best selling author. On the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, we will help you unlock confidence to create consistency and develop conviction. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence. Welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, where we motivate you, we inspire, and we encourage you. And today, wow, we got a queen in the house. We got Queen Shreer here. Queen, the queen is in the house. I'll tell you what, she's a beautiful, loving woman. I had a chance of really just getting to know her. I was on her show, and I said, you talk a lot of value. So welcome to the show, my dear friend Shreer. How you doing, sister? Woo woo!
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Sri Mahabir, and let me tell you about Daniel. He humbly says that I brought him on. I only brought him on like 2 times, and I'm already thinking about next year bringing him on. So I'm so honored to be here today with you and your community.
Well, you know what? I'm excited that you're here. I'm grateful. I know the beautiful person you are. You have an amazing, amazing just content. Everything that you do is awesome. Introduce yourself, please, to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show.
So, like I said, my name is Shri, and I love helping solo entrepreneurs, small business owners, corporate professionals be able to get on camera so that they can build visibility to their brand and business by using the power of video, along with building up their confidence, being able to get inbound leads, and now I can say I am a remote producer. I produce your show. So if you want to create a live streaming show or you want to start podcasting, I can help you with that as your producer. So the journey didn't begin just like that. It started with many who were trying to get visibility to their business. I started my business in 2019 after my ex, the father of my child, passed away. Fast forward to 2020, and that's when I realized, wow, we're in the pandemic and everybody seems to know what they're doing, or that's just what it seems. But I was like, well, I do like being on, well, I don't like being on video, but I do like seeing that you can get visibility by going live. I need to be doing that. How do I get people to go live with me? How can I bring a spotlight to these entrepreneurs who are sharing their story? How can I build a community where we have somewhere to go and we're not feeling like we're not the only ones? And it can also be where collaboration can happen and you can get the next business deal, whatever happens when you have a magical community like that. So that's when I started going live on Instagram. And here we are, 2.5 years, and I'm coaching clients. I'm a producer, and it's all because I said, I'm not going to let fear get in the way.
Boom, baby, look at you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, she's going to drop some massive wisdom. She's going to drop some massive wisdom. So get out your pen, get out your paper, because you want to definitely take notes down. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you retain over 50% of the stuff you write down, of the content you write down, because your brain recognizes your own handwriting. So get out your pen and paper and definitely take some notes. I love that we're talking about this, because just yesterday I was hiring a vendor, or a vendor came onto our women's conference. We were having our women's conference in October, and we were just talking, and she was like, "You're a business coach, Daniel, ain't you?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, what can I do to grow our business?" Her mom owns the business. It's a salon, a spa, and they just right. COVID happened, and they just trying to get the wheels back, momentum built up. And it's funny that you say the comment you just said, your introduction. I told her, "Well, what do you do on social media?" She goes, "Nothing." She goes, "I just told my sister that she needs to stop being shy." So there's three sisters that support their mom's salon, spa, hairdressers, and not one of them is doing video. Not one of them is posting anything on social media. And I'm like, let me explain. One of the biggest free things that you can do for your business is just get out your phone and go live on Facebook. And you talk about massive instantaneous results. I said, "Dude," she goes, "Well, yeah, but my sister's shy." It's like, "What about you?" She goes, "Well, I'm shy." So how does someone, Sri, get over this lie or insecurity of being shy? Is it a lie that they bought into, or is it just an insecurity that they haven't been able to break through that glass wall? I say it's glass because everything's breakable, right? You can see the opportunity there, but they're just not taking action.
So I would say it's a story. It's not a lie. It was a story that we believed and we're holding on to. And it's asking yourself, where did this story begin? Was it that somebody said you're not beautiful? Was there somebody who said you sound funny? I don't like the way your voice sounds. Was it something that you looked in the mirror one day and you didn't look the same way that you looked maybe 3 years ago? And this story of like, okay, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to hold so tight that it's going to be my truth is one of the reasons why we don't show up on camera. And I kind of went into a long-winded intro about myself, but in 2019, I didn't know what to do. I was in a place where just 6 months prior, I became a single living parent. And I'm like, okay, what do I got to do? Okay, let me start a business. Then people kept telling me, you need testimonials. So then it turned into, okay, the pandemic's happening. There's no visibility. What can I do? And so I had to bite the bullet. I had to get out there and I had to be in front of people because first, I didn't have a social media presence like some. And then two, I said, you know what? There was nobody coaching me. There was nobody who was telling me because in 2020, it was still really new about live streaming and video and how that can help you with your business.
Were you
When
scared?
I was beyond scared, but what I hit it with, this is what I did. I hit it by bringing on a guest. And I would show up for the guest. There were so many times I would go live, Daniel, and I was just so nervous. I was like, I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. There's bigger audiences that people who have bigger audiences. I just, everything that you may be feeling or thinking right now, that the person that is listening right now, I was feeling that. And the difference is that I said, okay, let me bring on somebody. Let me just at least show up for them. Let me serve them by helping them get on camera. Let me help them by asking the right questions. I mean, my first 50 lives sucked. That's a big
You know what? You know
feeling.
what? Say that again. I don't mean like listen to what Sri just said. Her first 50 lives sucked. They stunk. They sucked. I'm thank you for your honesty because people have the misconception that as soon as you go live, they got to be perfect. The first one's going to be, oh, amazing. I'm going to get 1,000 views or I'm going to get all these downloads or out of the, no. Listen to what you said. Not the first five, not the first 10, not the first 20, the first 50, ladies and gentlemen, stunk. No bueno, right? In Spanish,
No,
no
baby.
bueno, man.
And
But
here's
thank
the
you for your
funny.
transparency because somebody needs to hear that because they're so worried about it. It's like it's gonna take you realistically 50 to 70, maybe even 100 times.
I agree. Like, I remember someone telling me your first 50 lives are going to suck because you're trying to define your voice. You're trying to define your opening. You're trying to define how you ask questions, how you present yourself. How does your background look? You're just figuring it out. So why not allow the first 50 to just be like the ones that you will train yourself? Here's the funny part. I still got some really big guests within my first 50 lives. I had Jeff Fenster, who's the CEO of Everbowl. I have Ron Malhotra. He is a business coach, mindset coach. And I got them to go live with me. Mind you, I had people who I was asking to go live with me and they just blew me off. And now they're coming back and asking, can I go live with you? It's real funny how things turn around. But I will say it was my first 50 lives and I'm so thankful for. And then when I hit my 100th live, that's when I realized, hey, I got something here. But again, I was doing a business I hated. So that's when I learned my strengths, my gifts, and I realized I'm in the wrong business. I need to switch gears. And that's when I started working with someone. And that's when the second business
Well,
became what I'm
hold on
doing
now. I
now.
want the audience to hear this. you're wondering right now, what can I do? You're tolerating what you hate, right? You're sick and tired of being sick and tired, but you're still tolerating what's making you sick and tired. Listen to what Sri just said. She lost her husband in 2019. Most women and men, I think, would have probably hibernated for a year, maybe two. Just everybody grieves differently. But she chose not to fall in her feelings. She chose not to be a victim, is what I'm hearing. And out of nothing, right? You need to hear this because you're asking yourself, well, what can I do? What type of business can I start? There's opportunities all around you. You're just not seeing it because you're stuck in your own feelings.
I want to go a
And
little bit, sorry,
yeah,
I want
yeah,
to go
but they
into
need to hear
that.
this because you started just right. You took a chance on yourself, and it started with the 50 lives is what it started with because you started taking action and you didn't allow yourself to sit there and just really drown in your sorrow.
So my ex-husband, we weren't married at the time. He was very abusive. So for a lot of women who may be listening, you're feeling like, well, what if this person watches my live? When I started going live in 2018, he wasn't, I mean, sorry, 2020, 2018, he passed away. 2019, I was still trying to figure out what can I do? I want to leave a legacy. Then in 2020, that's when I just said, I put everything aside. I said, I've been raped, I've been abused. And these are things that I see when I look in the mirror or look in the camera. And I said, no, I see somebody who didn't say that this is going to be the story that she's going to live by. It's just part of the story. It's one chapter of the story. And so, yes, you can get stuck and say, I'm going to be here for a minute. I want to feel the emotions, but get up and then start sharing. You'll be so surprised how impactful your story is. Your story could be the reason somebody else gets up in the morning because you may be just 2 steps ahead of where they are. They could have just found out they had cancer, or they could have found out, or just had a loved one pass away on them. And here you are saying, I had this happen to me and I'm getting up and I'm moving forward. This is what I'm doing. I'm living in, I mean, if this person was alive now, they would say, keep going. If it was an abuser, you walked away. You said, I'm no longer weak to you. I am strong. I do not allow this type of behavior in my life.
Well, you know what?
So
I don't think people realize to circle back what you said, and we talk about this in Sticker Shock, right, our Speaking Academy, because when you share your story of hurt or pain, or what happens is most people they just suppress those emotions. They never talk about it. And why is that important? Why am I bringing this up? Because that's what causes cancer. That's what causes diabetes. That's what causes arthritis. That's what causes. My brother literally, I mean, killed himself because he never released those emotions of our mom dying. He just never released it. He chose to deal with issues, to deal with life the wrong way. And unfortunately, at a young age, he ended up he had a brain aneurysm. His brain a vein just popped in his head. So what Shri is saying is, when you share your story, not only is it's healing to your soul, is what it is.
it is.
So, and I've seen people that come to Sticker Shock and they just cry, right? I mean, they don't even think about it, but next thing you know, they start talking about their story, and we literally give them another retake because of just the tears that they cry, because they don't realize how much they've pushed that trash down, they've suppressed that emotion, and they don't deal with it. And even doing 50 lives, I mean, I can imagine that you felt stronger, more confident, because all that junk inside of you from what you just shared with us, you were releasing that.
I was releasing it, but it also opened up for me to see there are more things I need to work on. And the first one is, which is maybe what some of your listeners in your community are feeling, I don't have value. That was
Mm.
big for me for a very long time. I even cried on a live. That was the first time I cried. And it was because I was not seeing my value. I did not realize that I could help others. And I was doing it the whole time. So we're thinking, well, if I do this podcast, what if I do this live, or I put out this video, will people see the value? Well, how do you know if you don't put it out there?
And you know what? And you have great content on TikTok. I gotta say, I see a lot of your TikTok videos, and I mean they're good, they're funny, they're engaging, and not that they're all right. You just have different content for different aspects, but it's good stuff, and it's really good. And imagine the people that follow you now, they would have missed out on you. You have a huge following on LinkedIn too. I love you because you're on LinkedIn. I think so many people missed out on LinkedIn because they just missed the boat. You know, that you have over 5,000 followers on LinkedIn, and a big, right? If you think about it, business minded people are going to be on LinkedIn. And not that there's not business minded people on other platforms, because I'm on other platforms also, but I think you have a higher quality buyer conversion rate on LinkedIn, and you're putting out content there, and that's where your show's at. And look at what you've done. So let me ask you this. Someone is listening to this episode. They're like, Sri, okay, great. I'm listening to your story, but what's the first, right? What are two things that people need to really do to start? Because I love that we're on this talking about this, because I think it's a great way to advertise and grow your business. What are two mistakes that you see that young entrepreneurs and small businesses make that they don't do? Two mistakes that they don't do, and then how do they correct those things to do it right?
I would say being there, just over analyzing. Like, you know, most people will say, and you'll hear it all. I'm going to start with over analyzing that it has to be the right setting, the right shot, the right words. Honestly, many of my videos that I have posted that are on TikTok, Instagram, even LinkedIn, they were the ones, and those that did really, really well are the ones that I just was like, whatever, I'm going to get it out. I'm going to stop focusing on perfection and put it out. And then it turned into, okay, I put it out, and I use TikTok. I just post the video. I don't look at perfection. I just post it. Then I look back and I say, hey, you know what? Maybe I should reword this. And when I reword it, I post it on the other platforms, and they do really well. So instead of getting caught in perfection and over analyzing, just post. You're not going to get a one-hit wonder. You're going to be a wonderful wonder, because people are like, whoa, they keep posting content. I'm getting really good value. Where we have, sometimes we put out a video that just we thought made sense. It doesn't make sense. But the thing is, it's looking at the bigger picture, not just this one picture. So don't overanalyze. And then the second tip that I would say is just have fun. Like,
Ooh, yes.
you, you will see, the trends of trending videos that blow up, and then you'll see videos you are what's called a talking head. You're just talking, or you may be dancing, whatever it is that you like. But don't get caught up that you have to do a certain type of video. Just have fun. Put out different kinds of content. So if you're on LinkedIn, you can put a post, which is a picture with caption. You can do a carousel, that's a slider. You can do a video. You can go live. Or when you're on TikTok, you can do one where you're pretty serious. You could do one that's a little bit lighthearted and fun. You could do one where you're showing that you love cooking, like I did, and just show who you are. That's what you're doing. Because think about it. We are in the business of connecting with people. So people don't want to just see the serious side of you. They want to see the other side of you. Are you a mom? Are
Let,
you
let,
a
let me
dad?
ask you this, because I had this debate with somebody. I'm glad we're talking about this. And just for those of you who are catching the middle of the show already, Shri is an amazing, right? She does video marketing. She's a social media. She's a genius at everything to do with video and content. And you got to watch her. She's funny on TikTok. But I had this debate. They're like, well, I don't want to put no pictures of my children, because I go, no, that your customers need to see that you're human. I mean, that's my belief. I said, I'll tell you what, it's good to post content about leadership, about money, and about all this other stuff. I go, but they have to see the human element of people. What's your perspective on that? What's your take on that? Because so many people say, well, no, I'm going to keep it totally serious, right? Totally business. I think they're missing business because people want to connect with the human touch of you.
So I would say you post what you're comfortable. You can show, if you have children, especially younger ones, you can show that you're at their baseball game without showing their faces. You can show if they're a dance recital without showing their faces, like you could show the book, whatever it is. But we're not just one-sided. We're so many sides. We're a mother, daughter, friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, brother, uncle, grandfather. Like we are so many different types of person to a different person, but it's who we are, right? Like think about it. If I don't I show my daughter once in a while, and then I talk about her a lot. Then I talk about my passions. I don't show my significant other because that's just not what I want to show, but he's there. And it's the same thing. Like some people show, some people are very, very private. You know, some of them, like The Rock and Beyonce, they're very private about their life, but you know that this person exists. And is in my case, I don't showcase it. I have, and then people will ask, well, why doesn't she showcase it? Well, I don't think it's relevant in the kind of content that I do. Now, if I was a relationship coach, yes, I would be talking about him. But if it's just because I'm in front of the camera and I'm just showing you different angles of who I am, because I am trying to connect with my potential client. Who does that person look like? It's only one. I'm looking for that one person. So maybe they're a parent. Maybe they're a woman. Maybe they're shy because they have psoriasis like I do. Maybe they are somebody who's successful in their career, but they're ready to take it to the next level and push themselves and get on camera.
Yeah. And I would say too, ladies and gentlemen, think about which platform you're on. I think I post a lot more business leadership content on LinkedIn than I do in anywhere else because that's the platform. So really pay attention to what platform am I on. Am I on Instagram where it's reels are popular right now? Is it TikTok where it's a funny video if you can put business into it? So really look at the platform that you're on. So let me ask you this: you start your business, you're getting going. Where in your journey between 2019 and now did you lose your confidence and you wanted to give up? And what did you learn about yourself that you didn't?
So I wanted to give up even when I started. And I was,
But thank
and
you for being
then
honest.
and then came, but I told myself, you know what? Give it a shot. Give it at least 50 lives. That's it. Just go for it, see what happens. Hey, I got there and I was like, hey, I've got an ebook. I became an author. I've got some really good guests. People are really coming to me. I've grown my account from 97 followers to like 1,000. So I was like, okay, you know what? This is cool. Let's keep going. Then I became a full-time entrepreneur after I got laid off in 2021, December, 9 days before Christmas. Then I was like, okay, let's just do this. And there have been moments where I've said, maybe I should go back. But then there have been moments that said, nope, this is where I need to be. It just takes time. So for anybody who's thinking about starting a business, starting a podcast, starting a live show, everything takes time. If you're thinking about posting on LinkedIn, I will challenge Daniel's thought. You can post about you. You can post something inspirational. I have hit burnout. I have posted that I didn't have a successful month. I have posted when I got laid off. I even posted when I paid off my debt. I even posted about I love cooking, and it was one of my top performing posts to date. So you don't have to think, oh, because I'm on LinkedIn, it's got to be a certain way. No, you could change it up a little bit. If you're on Instagram, same thing. TikTok, just don't think that you're going to get instant success. That's the thing that we get in our mind, like because we get caught up with, oh, this person had a one hit wonder. Well, let me tell you that it wasn't always like that. My cooking video that was on LinkedIn is one video. I posted it on TikTok. It did decent. It did a little bit better on Instagram and it exploded on LinkedIn. So that should tell you I didn't give up. But I also have had posts that did horribly. So you've got to put in the reps. You've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the time, build relationships. It will come. So I would say my lesson is that the process works, just you have to be patient.
And what did you learn about yourself in that moment when it was like when you thought about maybe I should go back to my job?
when I thought about getting a job, I was like,
Yeah.
do I really want this? If I do it, how can I make it in my own terms? Because I'm not giving up what I've been building on. And can this be a contract? Can it be hired under my company? Like I started thinking as
But
the
what did you
next
learn about
option.
yourself though? What did you learn about? I want to go deeper. Like, what did you learn about? Because right, so many people. I love what you said. Right, they start this journey, and they underestimate the commitment that it's going to take. Because it's really a commitment. It's like you're marrying your career in a sense because you people make the mistake that they think overnight they're going to be a success, and it doesn't work that way. Sometimes it's a year, 2 years, 3 years. What did you learn about Sri? Did you learn that you were stronger, that you were more resilient? What did you learn about yourself at that moment when you're like, I could go back, but I'm not going to go back because I learned this about myself. What was that you learned about you?
So as I was like just saying in my answer, I was saying if I go work for somebody, can they hire me under my company so I can be a contractor? And that's when I had the aha moment. I do not think as an employee, I think as a business owner. And I'm thinking bigger
Mhm.
and I'm not thinking about just for that moment. I'm thinking about, okay, let's strategize. Sometimes you have to step back. Like right now, I've had to step back. Since August, I actually took a step back because I said, I need to fix some back end processes. I may be missing out on a few things, but you know what? That's what's the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur. Employees, like, I just got to get the next thing to pay the bill. The entrepreneur says, okay, in the long run, if I take this step now, it might cost me a little bit, but the payout's going to be much larger in the near future. So I rather take this moment now and say I am so thankful I did that. And that's the difference that I learned as being an entrepreneur. Because if I look at where I was last year and this year, I was not thinking like that. I was thinking, okay, I'm setting myself up. I know this is going to pay off. How is it going to pay off? I have the time because I have the money. Now it's different. I have the time. The money will come.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to what she's saying. Tree just said this, right? Sometimes we don't realize how far we've come. So I want you to take a moment right now, ladies and gentlemen, and really, after the show's over, write this down, right? I want you to write this word down, reflection. I want you to reflect back how far you've come from January, and then how far you've come from last September. And what I heard Tree say was this, ladies and gentlemen, that at the moment of wanting to go back, she said, well, I don't think like an employee anymore. I really have an entrepreneur business mindset. And that's what it takes. And sometimes you don't realize what you have until you slow down and reflect back on, wow, I'm doing this. I've done this. And it takes maturity, right? I think I love what you said. How so this is somebody needs to hear this on the show. Another way she said it was she didn't give up, right? She wasn't going for the instant gratification. And so many of us, we want that instant gratification. And as an employee, you just want to pay your bill. No, it's get beyond that. Think bigger than that. God has a bigger vision for you. God has something even better. But if you don't get the bigger vision, if you don't believe the bigger vision for yourself, how do you expect God to bless what you're doing if you don't believe it? It says right, but without there's nothing without faith. You got to have faith.
You do. You have to have faith. You have to trust that God's plan is much better than yours. And sometimes opportunities come and they sound wonderful. Take a step back. Don't, I made that mistake. I invested in, should have just said, let me take a step back. How will this work out? Sometimes you just have to walk away. I feel bad to say no, but at least now I'm getting comfortable saying it's not the right time right now. I'm not saying later it won't be, but right now, this is not for me. I need to focus on other things. So I've I've had to say, okay, reflection is great, but I want to ask God, what does he have in store for me?
So what are two best business tips or business wisdom that you can share with us here today?
Ooh, the ones that I shared. Okay, I gotta think of two new ones. I would say
Well, just in business in general, not so much video, but just business as a business owner, right? As an entrepreneur.
what you're talking to yourself, your limiting beliefs, work them out. They will hold you back. They will definitely come up and creep up in different ways that you don't realize it. Maybe it's a task that you keep putting off, but there's a reason you're putting that task off. You have to dig deeper. There's some underlying limiting belief you have. And then the other one I have is continue to educate yourself, grow, pay for those courses, work with that coach, make sure that who you're working with is in alignment to where you want to go, but also look at the fact, if you continue to do free, how far is free going to take you? At one point, you can do free so you can get the money to work with the coach, but also recognize, like, you know what, I've been doing this, this has been good, but I'm ready to level up. And that's what I did. It took me way too long to recognize that. From 20, was what I started going live in April of 2020. I did not invest into my first real coach until June of 2021. That's way too long. Don't wait that long.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think when I started speaking, like within 3 months, well, first of all, I went to John Maxwell. I got certified as a JMT. That was a $5,000 investment, which I had a heart attack because I've never invested that much in myself. I was like, God, are you sure? I was literally shaking. And then when I came back, I remember meeting this other gentleman and hired my first speaker coach, and it really accelerated my results. And I attribute, if I hadn't invested the 5,000 and the other, what, 3,000, 8,000 right off the bat, I wouldn't have had the $100,000 a year my first year of speaking. And because people can help you, right? Why do you want to go through the frustration, through the headaches of trying to figure it out yourself when there's a tree out there already that can help you and help you get to that next level quicker? And it's called wisdom. It's
It
called
is.
wisdom. It's just like, but people want to. I think the lie, right? The belief that they bought into is like, I can do it by myself. I don't need no help. No, you got to get away from that ego, get away from that pride. And this is another lie that people believe. No, I think this is the reverse side of that is, well, nobody wants to help me.
That's not true. That's not true. There's somebody out there for you. Obviously, if they're in a bracket you cannot afford, there are people who are just as good. You just have to find them and get on the phone with them. Talk to them. Stock their, well, here's the thing. Those coaches that you want to work with, they're putting out videos, they're doing lives, they have content, they have freebies, they have newsletters. Get on it. Stalk them, get to know them, get on their lives, ask them questions, get on a phone call with them. If you want to be as crazy as me, you can get them on your live and interview them to see what it would be like to work with them. And then make that investment, because you've already put in the time. You can't get back that time. The money, at least, you'll convert that and make more.
Oh, say that again.
You invest in any coach, you're going to make the money. It's going to convert. May not be right away. It may not even be in the time that you work with them, but you're going to make that money back.
Yeah, it's man, I love what you just said. So many people that I meet, Tree, they don't see it that way. They see it as a cost. And I talk about that, right? You got to stop seeing your coach, your mentor, whatever you go into a conference, it's not a cost, it's an investment in yourself. And you never know. Sometimes, like you said, that wisdom's going to come up a month later, three months later, or even a year later, even 3 years later. There's stuff that I was just reading last night and studying. I was like, man, I wrote that down almost a year ago. How did I not see that? But it's the wisdom. Sometimes I believe when it's like biblical, right? When the way they say the word of God never comes back void. And a lot of these people, a lot of the conferences that I go to, right, they talk about the principles of God. Well, it's the word of God. It doesn't come back void. So I love what you're saying because it's going to convert. Maybe not when you think it is, but if you don't give up, it's going to convert. What is a scripture or a quote, Tree, that you lean on in times of adversity?
I always think about Maya Angelou's, it's not what you do for others, it's how you make them feel when you're not there. And then from the Bible, it's have a mustard seed of hope and see the mountains moved for you, which I truly, truly believe. I've seen it happen way too many times, especially this year when I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. And I was on unemployment when I got laid off, and it stopped in June or July. And then the next moment, I got paid by a client, that paid me. And I was like, okay, this is much greater than what I was getting. So let me trust in God's worth, because he's going to take care of me. Let me keep doing what I need to be doing. He's going to take care of the rest.
I love it. If somebody wants to work with Shri, how do they get a hold of Shri?
So you can definitely find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. I would love to be able to work with you, because I would love to be able to say and show you all the wonderful gifts you have. Don't think of video of just, okay, this is how you get more business. Video has helped me become a better speaker, become a better presenter, become better at just talking to others, being confident in myself. These are things that people don't realize that video can help you do. So don't think about just about your business. Think about what are other areas of in your life you want to become better in, and video will be able to help you with that. And I would love to be able to help you with that.
Do me a favor. Give us somebody needs to hear a word of encouragement right now. Look into the camera and give them a minute of just why they need to believe in themselves and not give up.
I loved when someone told me this, and so I'm going to share this. I'm passing it forward, and that is, you are somebody's hero. You are somebody's reason they get up every morning to see the new day. You may not know who they are. You may know who they are, but they look to you and your content. Even if you're posting 3 times a week or 7 days a week, something you have said has motivated them. So when you live your life knowing you've impacted one person, you'll continue to do what you're doing.
Boom, baby. Look at that. Woo! I'm telling you, she brought the fire today. Just to recap the amazing episode, I just took away so many golden nuggets. It's just really, think about this. Somebody needs to hear this. The recap is this, is that sometimes it takes 50 attempts before you start to see the results. So maybe you're on attempt number 25 or 30. You're almost there. Don't stop at 15. The second thing that she said was this, is have fun. So many people forget to have fun doing videos, forget to have fun in business, forget to have, and when you have, it's just a higher frequency of, right? Joy, happiness is just a higher frequency. Have fun, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I'll tell you what, Shri, thank you so much for being with us here today. And you've been a big blessing. And ladies and gentlemen, woo, got the music going on. That's the wrap up for this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining us here today. If you're stuck in life, if you're stuck in business, go to danielgomezglobal.com. That's danielgomezglobal.com, and do our free assessment for entrepreneurs. We want to help you. We want to give you a complimentary 45-minute discovery session. Just send us a message there through our contacts that are on our website. And also go to our new website, themakingsofaMillionaireMind.com. That's themakingsofaMillionaireMind.com. Get our book. We'll send you an autographed copy. Get our course. It's been helping hundreds of people already. It's been a great, great, great success. And because of that, we've had a high demand for a live event. So November 18th and 19th here in San Antonio, Texas, the Makings of a Millionaire Mind Bootcamp is going to be here at the Norris Conference Center. So go to Eventbrite, get your ticket today. I promise you it's going to help you increase your revenue, increase your wages. It's going to help you transform your heart and your mind to think at a higher level, and it's going to change the whole trajectory of your life. This is Daniel Gomez Inspires saying thank you for joining us here. We'll see you next weekend with another amazing guest. Thank you.
This is Daniel Gomez, and thank you so much for tuning into our show today. We'd love your feedback. Please drop us a comment, and thank you for leaving us a review. Don't forget to subscribe to our show and share this episode with a friend. And my free gift for listening to our show today is a copy of my best-selling book, You Were Born to Fly. To get your free copy, go to danielgomezinspires.com and get your copy today. That's danielgomezinspires.com. And to elevate your life and business even more, follow me on social media at Daniel Gomez Inspires on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence.